Hello everyone, my name is Michelle. I am an armchair psychologist who does not specialize in DID. With that being said, I am a young adult who has access to the internet. There's different cases of people who fake DID, just straight out are role-playing, and there's other cases of people who genuinely believe they have it. Dissociative identity disorder is the result of trauma, where there are two or more distinct personalities within one body. This topic needs to be discussed very carefully, so if you have DID and you're trying to convince yourself you don't have it by watching this video, or vice versa, you think that you might have DID, I'm definitely not the place to confirm or deny that. So if I say anything in this video that makes you question your experiences, I would definitely check with a professional rather than listening to some random person on the internet. I'd also like to say that in a lot of genuine cases of DID, the person might be in denial. There'll be different alters who are in denial of having it. Along with, you cannot tell if a person is faking based on one video, whether they're exaggerating, that's how they present, that I don't fully understand. I'm basically saying that a person with genuine DID can be interpreted as fake online, because how am I supposed to know exactly what's going on in this person's personal life by watching a 30-second clip on TikTok? Today, I'm going to be going through personal observations that I have. None of what I'm talking about in this video is clinical. It's not like a person role-playing DID is a diagnosis, although there are diagnoses such as factitious or malingered disorders. This is more just an observation of the internet in general, so let's get into the video.
And suddenly you realize that everything you'd ever told yourself were lies.
Role-playing DID, a lot of the stories that I've talked about are from literal children who don't understand what dissociative identity disorder is. Why do I always mix up is and are in my videos? That goes to say that if you are or have faked DID and you are at an older age, it's not like to invalidate you and say you're immature, because there's different reasons that people might fake. A lot of these people observe things like factives as a fun experience. A fictive in the context of DID is a person that is an alter that's based off a person or character. I've seen a lot of people refer to this rather than DID referring to it as an SMP, where they are having a fun role-playing experience with their friends. And I've talked about this before. I literally did this when I was in high school, middle school with my friends, except it's more just deliberately role-playing rather than saying that you have a mental disorder in which 70% of individuals with this disorder, DID, have completed or attempted suicide. Someone might do this online for different reasons, for personal gain, such as attention-seeking behavior. It can be kind of like an addiction in the way that you are receiving attention and validation, so you continue to do it. A lot of people do not have an understanding of how distressing this disorder really is, and so role-playing could be a way for them to express curiosity or engage in discussions about the topic. A lot of people who are role-playing could be doing it as a form of creative expression that is unhealthy because it stigmatizes an entire disorder. It can be a means of storytelling, character development, or exploring your own identity through a fictional context. Number two, a way to cope with trauma, which is another way in which people are intentionally, they know that they're faking it. There's different reasons a person might do this. A lot of people say, for the amount of trauma that I have experienced or the way that the trauma makes me feel, there's no way that I don't have DID. People aren't believing me when I'm telling them how distressing my trauma was for me. The thing is, and this is debatable, I've heard online, some people think that otherwise, but a lot of people will not fake for absolutely no reason. If you are living a 100% or 95%, because who's completely happy life, why would you feel the need to latch on to faking a disorder? Some people who are actively going through a traumatic situation might turn to faking DID as a way to cope. It shifts your focus temporarily and distracts from real life challenges or traumas. In my opinion, I like to put faking a disorder under the same category as I would any other sort of maladaptive SH kind of behavior, such as an addiction. Some people are not getting attention from people in their real lives, so they turn to online spaces that will give them attention for it. Faking it might be a way to explore your own identity and understand why you're feeling the way you are, but in a lot of cases, I'd say all cases, people come out and say that it actually made them more dissociated from themselves. They could be externalizing pain by faking it. It's a way for the individual to externalize or express emotional pain, although it is done in an unhealthy and misleading manner. Number 3, the person genuinely convinces themselves that they have it. This can be done for multiple reasons, but one of the reasons can be because of the way that it's portrayed in the media. It can be kind of like the butterfly effect in the way that if you see somebody who believes they have it, and they have the same symptoms as you, you're like, well, then I also have it. Many media depictions sensationalize or misinterpret mental health conditions that contributes to the overall misinformation of the disorder. I know a lot of people hate this term, but it's kind of also an echo chamber effect. Online communities can reinforce certain beliefs or behaviors that create echo chambers where misinformation is amplified, leading others to imitate such behaviors. Also, this is not for every single person who believes they have it, but there's a lack of literature in their knowledge about it. I can understand it to an extent because it's like there are people with genuine DID on the internet who you can get knowledge and information about, but if you're not reading literature about it, you only know what the media is telling you. A lot of it can be through peer influence. I don't know why, but a lot of these online forums will have people trying to convince other people that they have it. But in this case, it's definitely important to use critical thinking and follow up with a professional when a lot of people are saying that in order to discourage this disinformation about DID and other disorders, it's important for that social media platform to integrate community guidelines and possibly even take down videos that are filled with misinformation. A person who believes they have it might have an overlap in symptoms in which they genuinely believe that they have it. Some disorders that can be confused or have similar symptoms to DID are dissociative amnesia, which is similar to DID but without distinct identity states, depersonalization or derealization disorder, which is characterized by feelings of detachments from oneself or the surrounding environment, borderline personality disorder, in which a person might have a identity disturbance and unstable self-image, which can be mistaken for DID. However, the underlying mechanisms are different, schizophrenia and other psychotic disorders, in which you experience disruptions in thought process, reality distortion, and altered perceptions, bipolar disorder, in which severe mood swings can be mistaken for a different identity, trauma-related disorders such as PTSD, in which a lot of your symptoms involve dissociation, distress, flashbacks, and emotional numbing. A lot of these mental illnesses I've talked about require very different therapies from one another, so that's why it's important to know which one you're actually dealing with. Number 4 is when a doctor, psychiatrist will literally convince you that you have it. This can be for multiple reasons, and one of them is kind of sad in the way that a psychiatrist might actually get excited, like, oh my god, I actually have a case of DID, which is unfortunate for people with DID because it's like, why would you get so excited about that? Healthcare professionals are trained to approach assessments and diagnoses with clinical objectivity, but excitement might compromise their ability to remain objective and provide unbiased care. This can lead a person down a kind of dangerous rabbit hole because you are convincing yourself that you have a disorder because a doctor literally told you that you have it. We've seen cases like this before, and it's hard for the person because they have to completely switch their frame of mind when they realize they don't have it. There are ways to test whether a person is faking a disorder in the diagnostic process, and every single person being diagnosed goes through this process. If someone scores higher than 60 on the DES or the dissociative experiences scale, that person is most likely exaggerating or faking. However, if you have any kind of mental illness or DID and your doctor has told you that you have DID, you've been through the assessments, I would not take this video as an example of why you think you don't have it. Us as viewers, I'm obviously not going to tell you what to do, but it's not necessarily our job to determine who and who isn't faking it, especially because in the same way of addiction, if you try to tell someone like, hey, you're obviously faking it, they'll tend to just get angry because they're not quite ready to admit to it yet. They might be going through a lot of internal pressure, and it's kind of like a way to cope. Like if you take someone with a, addiction, if you take away their drug of choice, they're left in feeling naked, like they have nothing. It's important to encourage open dialogue, debunking myths, and promoting mental health literacy to create a supportive and understanding community. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you enjoyed. I would really appreciate it, and comment below. It helps with the algorithm. Like, I haven't recorded a video in 2.5 months other than these vlogs for Thailand, so I feel kind of awkward. If you have any thoughts or different opinions, corrections, I would love to hear them down below. Thank you so much for watching this video as always, and peace out.
And suddenly you realize that everything you'd ever told yourself were lies. And believe me, I can sympathize, 'cause everything I ever thought I was made me cry. Like